A 500-pound reptile rises up on its legs, stretches its neck out as far as it will go, and goes completely still. A bird a fraction of its size lands on its skin and starts pulling pieces out of it with its beak. The giant doesn't move, doesn't flinch, doesn't pull away. It stays frozen like that on command for as long as the bird needs, and this exact posture has been recorded on this exact island for over 50 years. This is the Galápagos giant tortoise, genus Chelonoidis, the largest living tortoise on Earth. Some individuals topping 500 pounds and living past 150 years. It spends most of its life doing almost nothing quickly, grazing, resting, moving at a pace measured in meters per hour. The bird standing on it is a Darwin's finch, usually the small ground finch, sometimes the medium ground finch, both native to these islands and nowhere else, both small enough to perch on a fingertip, weighing about as much as 3 sheets of paper. Nothing about their sizes suggests they'd ever interact on purpose. One is built to be ignored by almost everything. The other is built to be too slow to avoid anything. And yet, on this island, they've found each other on purpose for decades in the exact same way, which only makes sense once you understand what the tortoise is missing. The reason is hiding in the tortoise's own skin. Ticks work into every fold and crease a shell can't cover. The neck, the legs, the soft skin around the joints, and they stay there, feeding, for as long as nothing removes them. A tortoise's legs can't reach its own neck. Its neck can't reach its own back legs. There is no scratching, no shaking it off, no grooming tool built into that body at all. Whatever attaches to a Galápagos tortoise's skin generally gets to stay there, unless something else decides to remove it. Watch one specific tortoise in the Santa Cruz highlands go through this. It's grazing normally, head down, when a small ground finch lands a few feet away and starts hopping. Short, sharp, unmistakable hops aimed directly at the tortoise, repeated until it gets a reaction. The tortoise stops chewing. It plants its front legs, pushes its body upward, and extends its neck out in a straight line, exposing the loose skin at the throat. The finch walks straight toward it. This is the invitation posture, first documented and named by researchers MacFarland and Reeder in 1974. And it isn't random movement. It's a signal, repeated the same way by tortoises across multiple islands. Rising up on stiffly extended legs and stretching the neck out to its full length physically opens up the exact spots a tortoise cannot groom on its own. The neck folds, the leg joints, the skin around the cloaca. The finch reads the posture, hops closer, and starts working through the skin with its beak, pulling out ticks, flakes of shedding skin, and other debris, spot by spot, while the tortoise holds the position without shifting its weight. The stillness is the hardest part to explain by instinct alone, because a tortoise's normal response to something touching its skin is to withdraw, pull the neck back into the shell, plant itself, wait it out. Here, it does the opposite. It holds the exposed position, sometimes for several minutes at a stretch, while a bird that weighs less than 3 sheets of paper, about 1/100th of the tortoise's body weight, drives its beak into the folds of its throat, one spot at a time, without ever pulling away. That's not tolerance in the passive sense. Researchers who've logged this behavior describe it as active cooperation. The tortoise adjusting its own posture mid-cleaning to expose whatever spot the finch is working on next. Both sides are getting something they can't easily get elsewhere. The tortoise gets its skin cleared of parasites it's physically incapable of reaching on its own, a maintenance problem solved entirely by another species at no metabolic cost beyond standing still. The finch gets a concentrated, easy meal. Blood-engorged ticks are slow, defenseless, and calorie-dense, sitting in the open instead of hidden in leaf litter or bark. Neither one is doing this out of anything resembling kindness. It's a transaction that happens to work, repeated because it keeps working. This isn't a one-off pairing between one bird and one tortoise. MacFarland and Reeder documented it happening with two separate finch species, the small ground finch and the medium ground finch, across multiple tortoise populations on multiple islands, all performing the same invitation posture, all getting the same response. It's old enough and consistent enough that later researchers studying Galápagos ecology treat it as a stable, expected part of how these two animals share the same habitat, not a curiosity. And the tortoise isn't even the only reptile getting this treatment. Galápagos mockingbirds, a completely different family of bird, unrelated to either finch species, perform a nearly identical routine with land iguanas. The iguana holds still, the mockingbird hops in, and ticks and loose skin come off the same way on a different island with a different bird and a different reptile involved. That's the part that doesn't have a clean explanation yet. Half a century of observation across different islands, different species pairings, different individual animals that were never taught by each other, and the signal comes out the same every time. Rise up, stretch out, hold still, get cleaned. The relationship isn't even tied to one location. On Santa Cruz Island, researchers tracking tortoises by GPS over 12 years recorded them making regular seasonal migrations, moving up into the wetter highlands during the dry season, back down to the lowlands once the rains return, chasing whichever elevation has food. That same tracking data showed something more specific than a single herd moving together. Tortoises segregate by body size as they migrate, larger and smaller individuals settling at different elevations and shifting on different schedules, each finding the elevation where its own size can process the available vegetation most efficiently. The finches don't need to be told where any of this is happening. They find tortoises wherever they end up, highlands or lowlands, large-bodied group or small-bodied group, because the tortoises are still doing the one thing that gives the birds a reason to check, carrying ticks in skin they can't clean themselves. The partnership doesn't reset with the seasons, and it doesn't depend on tracking one fixed group. It just keeps finding the same problem, spread out and resorted across an entire mountain, season after season. None of that should be mistaken for proof that giant tortoises, as a group, are simply gentle by nature. In 2020, on Frigate Island in the Seychelles, a completely different island chain, a completely different species, the Seychelles giant tortoise, researchers filmed and published something else entirely. A tortoise deliberately stalking, catching and eating a tern chick that had fallen near it. It wasn't an accident, and it wasn't the only tortoise on that island seen doing it. Two very different giant tortoises, two very different relationships with the birds around them. One holding still to be cleaned, one hunting. What separates the two isn't temperament. It's opportunity and history. The Seychelles tortoises live beneath a colony of 250,000 nesting terns, where injured and fallen chicks are common enough that a slow scavenger could stumble into hunting almost by accident. The Galápagos tortoises never had that opportunity, and in over 50 years of direct observation, not one has ever been recorded turning on the finch standing on its neck. The posture means something specific here, because every single time it's been checked for half a century, it has meant the same thing. Right now, somewhere on Santa Cruz or one of the other inhabited islands, a tortoise is rising up on its legs and stretching its neck out again, and a finch is walking toward it without hesitation. Nothing about the shape of that signal, the stillness, the exposed throat, the size of the animal offering it, would tell you on its own whether it's safe. The only reason the bird can trust it is that so far, every tortoise that has ever made that shape here has meant exactly the same thing by it.